Hello everyone, Dr. Omar Clark, Experienced Family Chiropractic. But today I'm actually took a trip to Fort Myers. I actually came to Caring Medical. I reached out to my buddy Dr. Hauser and Brad as well, and just to talk to a little about mask in children. I know there's a lot of different things happening right now. I wanted to see if the mask really could affect blood supply to the brain or could affect CO2 retention. Rather than hearing people state it does or it doesn't, I wanted to find out for myself. So they were gracious enough to allow myself and Isabella, come here, mommy, to come out here, and we're actually gonna do some test from that standpoint. And I'm just gonna be a spectator. I'm just a concerned parent, and I just wanted to see for myself. So I'm excited to be here and just learn as well as we go through this whole process. So Brad, I mean, you can take it from here.
Yeah. Hey guys, Brad here with Caring Medical. I'm one of the licensed practical nurses here. I'm going to be assisting today with doing some transcranial Doppler testing. This is a really cool machine that's able to look inside the brain and see the blood flow live. And some of the other tests I'm going to assist with is with the HRV, heart rate variability monitoring. And so, yeah. You have a normal blood flow that goes inside the brain. And whenever you hold your breath, or whenever you get CO2 retention, that blood flow velocity increases. Basically, the body is like, you know what, I'm getting way too much CO2 in my brain, I need to flush it out. So it just starts speeding up. And it's really evidenced when you hold your breath and do other things. So what we want to find out today is if we put a mask on and we put some blood flow readings on the brain, and we'll just see if any normal activity or moderate exercise will cause significant CO2 retention while wearing a mask or not. We'll find out.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Hi, my name's Dr. Ross Hauser. Welcome to Caring Medical, Florida. I'm here with a very special young lady, Isabella Clark. And how old are you? Okay, 6. Who brought you here?
Daddy?
Oh, your dad. And is your dad a doctor?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Omar Clark is a upper cervical chiropractor here in Southwest Florida. And I'm a physical medicine and rehabilitation specialist who actually specializes in a procedure called prolotherapy that can help also conditions that Dr. Clark treats. So we are colleagues, and then he reached out to me because he's concerned about whether or not masks, like for the children, might be harmful. So he reached out that he wanted me to do a couple of tests, that we do in the office here. Is transcranial Doppler, which is using an ultrasound beam into the blood vessels of the brain to actually measure the flow. And the flow of blood is measured in centimeters per second. And that flow of blood tells you how the brain's doing, whether the brain is under stress, whether the brain's relaxed. And when the brain's under stress, the brain is going to try to increase the blood flow, the speed velocity of the blood, so the brain gets more oxygen, gets more nutrients, and can function optimally. Isabella, in my opinion, is one of the healthiest young people you'll ever meet. When I put a probe on her that measured her heart rate variability, which is a very good measure of a person's overall health, Isabella had one of the highest readings we've ever recorded here at Caring Medical. It was 84, and this is with a bunch of adults seeing her. She has the transcranial Doppler monitor on her, so she wasn't in a peaceful situation, and yet she had one of the highest measures. To summarize the results of the transcranial Doppler examinations on Isabella, when she didn't have a mask on and she was reading the flow velocities, how good her circulation in her brain was, stayed about the same. So the blood flow was the same when she was reading without a mask. However, once she put a mask on, the flow velocities in the arteries that we checked went up to 30 centimeters per second faster, which means that Isabella's brain was sensing that there was stress. Now, I can't say what caused that flow velocity to increase. I'm just here to say that it did increase. And some of the possibilities are that Isabella herself just felt stress, or that when she had the mask on, her body was accumulating carbon dioxide, which has the effect of increasing the blood flow to the brain as the brain tries to get rid of that carbon dioxide. One of the other things that we did with her is we checked the blood supply to her brain when she did squats. So when she did squats, again, when she didn't have a mask on, the flow velocities increased a little bit, but right away, once she got done, the flow velocities to her brain, the blood circulation to her brain got back to normal. However, when she had a mask on, it was almost immediately when she started doing the squats, her flow velocities went up quite a bit. And then, of course, when she stopped, it took a really, really long time to get those flow velocities back to normal. So what that means, again, is just like when she was reading, that when she had the mask on with the squats, her brain had to increase the flow velocity because, again, the brain was sensing stress. And then once she stopped the squats, instead of right away the flow velocities getting back to normal, they took like twice as long to get the flow velocities back to normal. So again, her brain was under stress with the mask. One of the other things that we checked with Isabella was just running in place. And again, she's a thin young person in really, really good shape. She's in really, really good shape. So when she didn't have a mask on and she's running in place, like her flow velocities without a mask, they increased an itsy bit, but it recovered really, really quickly. And then when she had the mask on, the flow velocities right away jumped up, and then it took her like twice as long to recover. So again, with the mask on, her brain was sensing stress, and because of that, the brain had to increase the flow velocities quite a bit for a longer period of time, again, to try to get the brain to function more normally. Again, I can't comment on what actually was the physiologic reason why that was. Like, was it because the mask, she felt suffocated with the mask, or she just feels stressed with it, or that her body, with the exercise, because we all know with exercise, your body accumulates carbon dioxide. So you and I, when we exercise, we blow off the carbon dioxide. Anybody who exercises knows your breathing rate increases. Well, when you have a mask, you're rebreathing that metabolic waste product, carbon dioxide. So your body is going to accumulate some carbon dioxide. So it could be that Isabella very quickly, her body senses like, oh my gosh, I'm accumulating carbon dioxide. And then the brain, in preparation for that, we got to get rid of that carbon dioxide. So it increases the flow velocity, and it increased it for a lot longer when she had the mask on. However, basically the second Isabella starts doing something, whether it's reading, running in place, doing squats, almost immediately there's a significant jump in her brain flow velocity. Again, the brain is sensing stress. And then for the brain blood flow to get back to normal, it was very much prolonged compared to the same activity, whether it was reading, squats, or running in place without a mask. Isabella, thank you so much for being our participant today, and you were amazing, so thank you for helping us research this.
I just want to thank Dr. Hauser and the Caring medical staff for taking their time out of their day and their busy schedules to allow me to bring my daughter to go through some of this information. And when we sat down and we discussed this, we saw the changes in blood flow patterns with the mask on when she had the transcranial Doppler ultrasound on. And we also saw changes within her HRV tracking score as well. And this was only a short period of time with her with the mask. So imagine the compound effect over a duration of hours. So this just made me even start to think and contemplate. Imagine a little one or a child with the mask on for 2 hours, 3 hours, or even 6 hours. Based off of what Dr. Hauser mentioned, just in regards to the stress with the mask, imagine now even the psychological effects that it can cause on children, but not even children, adults. Because there was a point where he mentioned my daughter where, yes, it could have been due to the CO2 factors that was affecting the stress of the brain, but it also could just be because she perceives stress by being in a mask. So those are some of those different things that haven't been answered, and that's something too that we have to take into consideration of the psychological effects that masks can even have on children, or the point where they can feel they're in stress and what that can do and cause effects to the physiology of the brain and just the physiology of the body as well. I want to encourage the individuals, the parents, the viewers, anyone who's watching this, to vet the research, dive deeper, because at the end of the day, no matter what health decisions at stake, we always need to be informed.